What the hell does your shirt freaking say, dog?
What, does this discredit me entirely?
That's cool. It's a cool shirt.
It says loons.
Where'd you get that? Give me it. Give me
Does
that.
it? No, absolutely
What the
not. It was a
hell?
gift. It was a gift. I give away my loons
One,
shirt.
2, 3. Oscar Wieners. Oscar Wieners. Oscar Wieners. These boys are the Oscar Wieners.
Yum, yum.
Oscar Wieners.
Welcome to Oscar Wieners,
All right, coming in hot.
the only show on the internet where Hollywood's biggest night thinks you should start a union.
Yes,
Go
yes,
on
it
strike.
does. Go on strike. I'm spitting this gum out, by the way.
Yeah, spit it out, please.
We can't be doing this.
The minute you said you're putting it in your mouth, I got stressed about the sound. I am Cole Hauser.
Oh, okay. Good say. At first I was like weak, and I was like, okay, you landed the plane. I guess my name's Doogie Howser.
Nice.
We're sort of siblings in that regard. I'm a doctor. He's a miner.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm Michael Xander. And this is a podcast where every week we pick a best picture wiener at random and try to figure out what's best picture wiener the. And this week we are talking about the 1942 best picture winner, the movie that the Academy decided this is going to sue the American people post Pearl Harbor. This is the movie that speaks to the moment. We're talking about 1942 best picture winner, How Green Was My Valley, directed by.
Oh, right on. Oh, nice.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's about a coal mining family, 1900s-ish, late 1800s, and it's just sort of about, it spans, it's funny because I think it only probably spans like 2 years maybe at most. A lot of shit happens in 2 years.
Are we sure?
The only thing is the kid doesn't grow up, barely.
But he does. I think he ages a lot, but they don't really make him look older or taller.
Yeah, he definitely he grows as like a boy, like he matures. But like I think to me, him looking the same, I'm like, this can't be more than like 3 years at most.
All right, that seems fair.
But a lot of shit happens.
Yeah, a lot of shit happens. Yeah.
To start with,
yeah,
the fucking so everybody's a coal miner. The movie opens with an old or older, like kind of like maybe 50s. I think he says he's leaving after 50 years. It's Hugh Morgan.
Is he our main character? Is that fair
I
to
would say so because he's the narrator.
Yeah, narrator. You get some protagonist privileges.
Yeah, like he's narrating. There's an adult who's narrating, like, oh, here's what it was like in my valley, like in its prime, and
right.
Roddy McDowell, as a boy, plays Hugh Morgan.
Right.
He has 5 brothers.
I think so. He has 5 brothers, maybe like 4 relevant brothers.
Yeah, it gets a little.
And I'm not going to say who's on the cutting room floor, but
yeah. There's 5 brothers, 1 sister, and then his parents. And all of his brothers and his dad are coal miners.
Yeah. They all work in the business. Their dad, I believe, is a manager of sorts.
Yeah, he's sort of like the owners of the coal mines speak to him to sort of communicate stuff to like the others, it seems like.
Yeah, it seems like he has a senior position in the mine.
First 15 minutes of this movie is just like, you start on a real high. Everybody's singing. Everybody's like so happy to be fucking shucking coal.
Yeah, weirdly excited to be. I'm like, you guys are too joyous to be this soot-caked. I don't know. Well, I mean, to each their own. It's a different lifestyle than
they had a lot of pride, I guess.
Yeah, they have a lot of pride. Yes, I think that's fair to say.
Is there a wedding in the opening of the movie? Why aren't they celebrating something?
Yes. Their brother gets married to.
That's right.
To the woman that Hugh fancies.
Right. what is her name? There's so many characters in this movie.
There's so many characters, and honestly, seeing the closing credits where they name all the characters and who played them is mind-boggling, because you see how these names are spelled, and they are as Welsh as it gets, with so many consonants clogging up the whole affair.
Hugh is spelled Huw, if you can believe that.
How about that? I frankly couldn't. I was floored.
The woman Hugh is in love with as a boy, and then his brother marries is Bronwyn, played by Anna Lee.
Yeah, Bronwyn is spelled like BRAWNINNYNWYN. It's insane. No, I'm like barely even exaggerating.
Yeah, so there's a wedding. It's like, again, it's a very you start really as high as possible. Like, oh my God, these people love their job. They love just drinking and singing and
Yeah.
their routine. And then one day the brothers and the dad go to work, and it's like the coal miner owners or whatever, like there's a notice on the whatever, a wall or something, and it's like basically like your pay is decreasing.
Yeah. Basically, there was an old iron factory that I think was shut down, and now all these workers are willing to work for much lower pay. So we're just bringing them into the mines, and we're going to lower your pay as well.
Which makes the brothers be like, Dad, we should like form a union. And the dad's like, get your socialist shit out of my house.
Yeah. The brothers really nut up though in this scene where they introduced the concept of the union. I thought it was really, really cool how they very respectfully stand up to their father.
A thing I actually think is very subtly and like very beautifully done in this movie is the way that Hugh's father, let me try and find his name.
They just called him Mr. Morgan. I think they say his first name at one point, but I didn't quite catch it.
Yeah. Donald Chris plays Gwillem Morgan.
Cool.
Try to spell that.
I mean, I didn't mean to sound sarcastic. That is sick, actually.
Yeah. His arc over the course of the movie, like in this first scene where his sons are going against him, is he's like, don't speak unless I tell you to speak. Like he is a very loving, good father, but like he's very rigid.
Yeah,
but
it's sternness about him.
His arc is like, once the sons leave, because the sons are like, all right, Dad, sorry, we want to form a union, we're leaving. And he's like, well, then you can't stay in the house. And he's like, and they're like, okay. And like the four of them leave, or five of them maybe.
I think four. I mean, Hugh doesn't leave. Hugh gets into a bit of an incident that I don't think has happened yet. We'll get to
maybe
it.
That's what it is. There's 5 brothers total, including Hugh. There's a lot of fuckers in this movie.
Yeah, a lot of fuckers in this house.
Yeah, nice house.
Nice house. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, pretty nice place.
Yeah. So they all leave, but then Gwillem, Hugh's father, like over the course of the movie, he kind of becomes way less rigid.
I think he becomes sad.
Yeah, he does. Like I think he sees that, like, oh, my rigidity drove my sons out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And then like eventually, like the fucking sons are like, so then there's a months-long strike, like 9 months.
Yeah, and the brothers are kind of at the forefront of this strike.
I thought the strike was going to be a way, like, I thought it was going to spread across the whole movie, because if you read the synopsis of this movie, it's like basically what I'm describing has happened so far in the movie, but that's like the first like 40 minutes, 30 minutes maybe.
I also thought it was going to be a more major through line.
Yeah.
Because the way that they set it up, you said Gwillem, his name is?
Yeah.
Gwillem Morgan, the eldermost Morgan, the patriarchal Morgan. The way that they kind of set it, I feel like they set up almost a soft rivalry between him and his sons, and it's almost like they represent these two different ideologies. It felt like that sort of thread was going to carry throughout the movie, but it kind of gets shut down rather quickly in about like 30 minutes or so. At one point, there is a large meeting of the workers, like a nightly meeting, like almost to unionize or strategize. And then Mrs. Morgan, Willem's wife, who I don't know her name, she shows up to this meeting and is like, if any of you fucking lay a finger on my husband, because there's a lot of tension around, he's kind of this holdout and doesn't want to support the union. But if you guys touch him, I'll fucking kill you, by the way.
Yeah, she does. She's like, as
Which is
God
pretty
is my
sick.
witness, I'll kill you.
Yeah. It was
I'll
pretty
kill you.
awesome. Yeah.
Her name is Beth.
So then on the evening where they had this big meeting, Hugh also shows up. Little baby Hugh shows up, and he falls into a river.
And then they're saved by the brothers who, there's been tension between the brothers and Gwillem, but I feel like that sort of brings them back together. I mean, the brothers still stay away,
Yeah,
but it sort of like smooths over. It feels like kind of any
it
tension.
does.
Um,
Yeah.
And then Hugh, after this accident, is just like in bed for like half an hour of the movie.
Well, he
Getting
loses
better?
mobility in his legs. He can't walk.
Is that true though? Like I do, like I know,
What do you
I know
mean?
he doesn't walk, but I just feel like the doctor comes over. He has like a fucking big jug of beer. And he's like, I don't know, he might not be able to walk ever again. Let him sleep for 2 years, and you're like, that's what doctoring was back then.
That's my thought exactly. The doctor is such a crazy character in how unprofessional he is. Like he's just kind of like gallivanting through the house. He's checking up on Hugh. He's like, yeah, he's a strong young boy. Like he'll be fine. And then like literally as he's walking out the door, I think Gwillem asks like, is he okay? And then the doctor's like, yeah, he's fine. He's just not gonna be able to walk again, probably. Just goes on his merry way. Hugh is just poor little Hugh is just kind of sitting in bed. He's sadly tapping his cane on the ceiling so his mom can hear.
Yeah, his mom's recuperating upstairs.
But lo and behold, he's saved by God, I guess, but not really. I think at this point the story introduces the preacher character, the cool hip priest, Mr. Griffith.
Yeah, played by Walter Pigeon.
But he's kind of this socialist preacher, so to speak, who's like, yeah, unions are pretty chill and all that.
Well, I think he's college. I think they said he went to college and like he's from like the city, I think.
He's like the cool hip preacher, and he comes and hangs out with Hugh, visits him in bed, and is like, let's go for a walk. And he was like, I literally can't walk. And he's like, let's fix that. And he does. It's a very beautiful scene where he's kind of they're in this meadow, and he's like, through the Lord all things are possible, but not that heavy-handed. He's like, he is ultimately trying to get him to come to church, but he does genuinely care about Hugh and says some actual meaningful things to him that help him progress and push past his limitations. It's very beautiful.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful scene. So John Ford directs the shit out of this movie. I think it looks incredible. And in that scene in particular, they're in like a field of like flowers. I don't know, like poppies. I don't know what kind
I
of
believe poppies.
Yeah. And there's like light, like they're between two trees, and there's like light coming through, and it looks very like 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 fucking God's light is shining on them.
I wished this movie was in color in that scene so badly.
But I was gonna, well, yeah, it's funny for a movie called How Green Was My Valley to be in black and white.
Right.
But you almost like, at least me, I like felt the colors. You know what I mean? Like it was like,
I do know what you mean. Yeah.
I'm like, this like it's so beautifully photographed that like I can feel this environment. I can see it. Despite the black and white. Yeah.
No, I totally understand what you're saying. I think he's able to convey that so effortlessly. Well, maybe not effortlessly is the right word. It seems like there was a lot of effort taken, but this is one of the best looking movies we've covered on this
100%.
show.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd like to, should we talk about the Fablemans for a second?
Okay.
John Ford is a character in this movie. And
played by David Lynch.
Right. And I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. I think you had to explain it to me. But at one point he says if he gives young Steven Spielberg or Fableman, whatever, he gives him some advice, and he says, like, if the horizon's at the top of the frame, it's interesting. If it's at the bottom of the frame, it's interesting. If it's in the middle, it's boring as shit. And I finally get it. Like, I'm watching one of his movies and I finally get it. Like, it looks incredible, and it's the way that you have these characters who are almost minimized by these gorgeous surroundings. Like, you have it really puts everything into perspective and gives it a grand scale, the way that it's shot. It looks awesome. Like, you just see this beautiful mountain town that's just shrouded in the shadows of these huge smokestacks. It's beautiful and imposing at the same time, and it looks amazing. Like, constantly when people are having these conversations about the unions or the mines or people being laid off, I feel like there's always this context immediately presented to the audience in the background that's just kind of looms over everything, and it really just centers you and puts you into this place, and is constantly giving you the framework for like why people are having these conversations, the things that are looming about them. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, he put his whole Fordyce into this one.
Nice, as he should, as this is right to do so.
Which, if I saw him and told him that, he would know exactly what I meant.
He would, yeah. That's the beauty of him. Very multifaceted man.
Walter Pigeon as Mr. Griffith.
Yeah. Dr. Pigeon, if you will.
Dr. Pigeon. He's also, we should say, in love with and conflicted about being in love with Hugh's sister, Angard. Every time they said it, I was like, what are you saying? Are you saying Angard?
Yeah. The names are going to be tough in this one. But yes, Hugh's sister.
Played by Maureen O'Hara.
Yes.
And they sort of have like many conversations where it's like, damn, these people, they want to tear each other's clothes off and have a couple babies.
Like, oh my God. The tension is crazy. The scene where they're in the kitchen together.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
What does he say? What does he say to her?
Because he tries to help her, I think, either cook or take care of some of the dishes. And she says, "You're the king of the chapel, but I'll be queen in my own kitchen." And he says, "You could be queen." He says, "You're queen wherever you walk."
Yeah.
And she immediately turns around, just like, okay. And then immediately he's like, "I shouldn't have said that." And
he's like, I have to go. I have to go pray.
Yeah, he does. He goes home to pray.
Then there's a scene. This scene a little bit confused me. Sort of the culmination of like, are they gonna have a romance or not? Is, I think she comes to Mr. Griffith's like little house that he lives in, and they're basically finally kind of saying everything. Like, are we gonna be together? Like, can we do this? What happens in that scene? I feel it to me. It seems like they are like, he's basically saying, if we're together, you're going to be poor, and I don't want to make you, because he's like, I live very minimally because of my vocation as a preacher, but I don't want to bring you into that life because you deserve more than just living kind of meagerly.
So you're leaving something out. So before this scene is when the rich coal miner's owner's son approaches her about marriage.
The rudest, fucking biggest asshole. He doesn't even say that many words. He just like walks in. You're like, fuck this guy.
Immediate. It's so instant. You're just like, fuck. He has an air of fuck this guy.
Yeah.
He just walks into their house and is just like, I fancy your daughter. I'd like to marry her. And that's kind of that. Like, he doesn't really, clearly is, I don't even know how he met her or knew about her. Angard. She is propositioned by this rich young gentleman for marriage.
Yeah.
And that is why the preacher says, listen, let's just be honest, this is a better prospect for you. Like, I don't have any money. You deserve a comfortable life. And so that's the path that she follows. She marries this guy, and then she's kind of gone for a while. Like, it's funny how that took over the thread of the movie, and then was gone for a long time. She's gone visually.
Yeah. I would say that is, once Hugh is in bed for like half an hour, that's sort of the thread of the movie that basically takes over the movie.
Yeah. Mhm.
for that chunk.
And then we go back to Hugh. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm moving, I'm kicking, I got legs again. I want to go to school. And then Hugh
Yeah.
goes to school. It really is kind of like chapters. It's like
Well, it
the
feels
cult.
very
this-
much like it's based on a novel. It's very episodic.
yes. And it's funny, I'm only really realizing in hindsight how episodic it was. Like there was no core through line. It was just kind of, it was an anthology.
You love Hugh beating the shit out of kids, so get into
it's
it.
great. It's awesome. First of all, he goes to school. Everybody in the class already hates him because he comes from, I guess, a poor town, and these kids are all from a richer town.
That made me so mad. I'm like,
Yeah,
these fuckers are heating your fucking homes. Shut your fucking mouth. It made me so mad.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was warranted. Everybody was so mean to him, especially the teacher who's like
A
they call him, like,
literal like Darth Vader. Like he was the worst guy.
yeah, he sucks, this teacher. Um, and of course he has a bully who's like 25 years old. This kid is so old. And they get into a scrap at the schoolyard. So naturally, Hugh comes home with a bloody eye or whatever. And all of his brothers are like, well, we're gonna have to teach you how to fight. We're gonna teach you how to box. And he's like, no, I don't want to make things worse.
And no, his dad is like, that's when the first time he comes home, his dad is like, get Bando. And you're like, who the fuck is Bando?
Yeah.
And it is this bald, rotund guy with just the meatiest fists you've ever seen. He's like, all right, boy, here's what you got to do. And you're like, this rules.
That is so sick. Honestly, what a great tiny role, but such a sick character, Bando. Yeah, he becomes his teacher and teaches him how to box. And then, of course, cut to Hugh back at school, like fighting in a literal boxing stance.
I was like, well, that's pretty cool. He's like dodging all the punches. He's owning that kid.
Yeah, he's owning that kid. But then he gets in trouble, and then the teacher basically whips him with his
he lashes him with
stick.
It's like
He
a
just has a
cane,
stick.
kind of
Yeah, I
like,
don't know.
yeah.
So he comes home. He's like, I won the fight, but my teacher beat the shit out of me. And then,
Well, hold on, hold on.
yeah,
I think the brothers are like, we're gonna beat the shit out of him, and I think the dad's like, no, because Hugh was like, I don't want you guys to intervene. He's like, because that'll show that like I don't want you guys like running to my aid. I can deal with it.
very measured response from you.
Hughes is
like, you don't make things worse. Yeah.
And then
and then his crazy ass fucking, it's Bando, and then his old friend. I don't know who these guys are, frankly. But two friends of Hughes, who are older gentlemen, decide to disregard everything that he's saying and just come to school, come straight into the classroom and just immediately start embarrassing this teacher and like
knocking him out.
Yeah, they knock him the fuck out
like twice. They knock him out once. They pick him up. He's like, and they punch him again.
And it's funny how merrily that they do it. They're like, it's almost like they're teaching the class how to beat the shit out of somebody. Yeah. It's very funny.
Oh my God.
I thought the teacher might be dead, but he's not.
I thought he was dead too. I was like, is this movie going to take like a dark turn?
Yeah, but no, it doesn't. It turns out fighting solved everybody's problems in that instance, and the teacher kind of leaves Hugh alone. But unfortunately, it's all for naught because Hugh has to go work in the mines.
Well, he doesn't have to. So he gets really good marks on his report card or whatever it is. He's
doing well in school.
He can keep going to school, and his dad is like, I think he's like, do you want to go to this school or this school? Like, do you want to be a doctor? I think that his mom is like, do you want to be a doctor or a lawyer?
Yeah.
And he's like, I want to work in the mines. And like,
well, his brothers have, a couple of them have left for America because the wages are so low at this point.
Yeah, we didn't talk about, that's like a very sad aspect of the movie. It's just like, first two brothers leave, then maybe like an hour later, the other two leave. And it's just Hugh and his parents, and
one of the brothers unfortunately dies in the mine.
Yeah, Bronwyn's husband dies.
Yeah.
So she's just like there.
And Hugh basically says, I'm gonna get a job in the mines, I'm gonna be a working man, and I'm gonna fucking marry the shit out of Bronwyn. That's his goal, right? He's like, he even says like, if you because she mentions that she's still like, even though he's dead, she's still like setting his boots by the door and like making a lunch that nobody's gonna take. And he's like, I could leave my boots by the door and take that lunch. And you're like, oh my God.
I was like, why does this 14-year-old have so much swag?
What is the amount of riz this young man has is off the charts.
I was waiting. We never get the answer of like whether once he was like 18 or something, like he married Bronwyn. We never.
I
We
fully expected that to come, and it never does.
yeah. Yeah, but he works in the coal mines, and on one hand, you're like, you know what? Good for you.
Yeah,
This is a respectable job. Don't let the fucking teacher who whips you tell you that it's not a respectable job.
yeah,
You're also like, this was like your way to do something else.
yeah.
You know, like his dad is very upset about it. He's very disappointed because he's like, you know, he wanted to have a better life than fucking shucking coal.
Right. But the reason why I think he's just disappointed and isn't forcibly putting Hugh in school is that I think they also need the money. Like him working in the mines would benefit the family because they're down a few incomes.
Right.
So they're kind of acting out of desperation. And I think
Yeah.
Hugh realizes that and he's mature enough to realize that and say, you know I have this other path set before me. I want to help the family work in the mines.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the father kind of reluctantly acquiesces to that. This movie's really good. Did we mention that?
No, I was kind of holding off because I was like, what if
Okay.
Ander thinks this movie is 2.5 stars?
No, I think this is great.
Okay. Yeah, I love this movie. This movie's
And I
great.
hope that I don't know if that necessarily can't, because I know we kind of did a little bit of like a lot of business with the plot and stuff, but
It just flows.
it really flows. You feel connected to these characters. The dialogue is pretty well written, and it's just beautiful. It looks awesome at every single step.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It's on YouTube. You can watch it for free. Yeah, so Hugh works down in the mines. It's very
Bleak.
once he starts working in the mines, you actually start seeing like, oh, there actually are children who are working in the mines.
Yeah, he's not the only child. There are
No.
so many children.
It's a bummer, for sure.
What happened to all the guys that were laid off? Like the iron workers and shit. I thought they were I guess they don't work as cheap as children do.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because like that's it. So like so he's now going to work with his two other brothers, and his two brothers get laid off because it's like, you guys are too expensive. Your wages are too high. We're
Yeah.
just like, even though you're good workers, we're laying you off because we could pay a child to do your job.
Yeah.
And do it probably much worse, I would imagine. But they don't care about
No.
safety,
Yeah.
or ethics.
Yeah, when it cuts to Hugh just wheeling a fucking mine cart of coal, you're
Yeah.
like,
This ain't it.
this ain't it.
Something's got to
This
change.
ain't it. We should have figured something out other
Yeah.
than coal, like hundreds of years ago, but whatever.
It is crazy. Like, I guess that they were just victims of their own circumstances, but it is crazy how do you see a child pushing a minecart and say this is how things should be? It's insane.
Yeah, 100%. So obviously, God, I keep forgetting like how to pronounce their names. Angard. She's kind of, it seems like she's living basically alone, like, or at least like without her husband, because like he's probably like away doing fuck all. No,
Well, that's where the scandal starts, is that her husband goes away to travel and she doesn't go with him. And the town is all aflutter because she didn't travel with her husband.
Oh, I think I missed that she's like purposely not traveling. I thought like he just wasn't bringing her.
No, she's purposely not traveling. All the housekeepers in their massive ass house are saying, this marriage is a sham, and they kind of start the rumor amongst the town as well.
That one lady does. She's like, I've been with the family for 37 years. It's like,
She
okay, cool.
sucks,
Sounds fun. And she says,
It's not.
then she like gathers all the women for tea and is like, she wants to divorce. It's kind of crazy how right she is. I want to know, like, how did she know that? But she's
Oh
like,
yeah, she was spot on.
I was like, how did you know?
She's been working for the family for 35 years.
But yeah, she's like, Angar wants to divorce her husband and be with the preacher, which starts a huge scandal. The church is basically like, does the church kick Griffith out, or is it he's like kind of leaving because he's like, well, you guys obviously the
I
scandal
do
is
think
you don't want me here.
it's a little bit of both, perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily relevant which it is.
Yeah.
He's kind of being forced out, and he even points to the hypocrisy of it all because they're forcing that like nothing has really even happened. She just kind of said she tells Hugh she's like I'm unhappy in my marriage.
Yeah.
But they haven't gotten divorced. You know, they have the preacher said like go off and marry this guy. They haven't had any sort of scandalous relationship beyond that.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why I think he's so incensed at the end when he's giving his last sermon to that.
Great sermon.
It's great. It's
He's cooking
awesome.
them.
He's like, basically, you guys are in here every Sunday and like nobody fucking listens to me.
Yeah.
You're only here out of fear of God. You're not thinking about the sacrifices of Jesus. And I was
Yeah.
like, damn, am I going to church tomorrow?
Yeah. He fucking cooked.
Yeah. He absolutely roasted everybody. It was awesome.
And then he's like in his little house where he lives, and Hugh goes to see him. And I think he says, like, Hugh says to him, like, before you leave, like, you should see Angard. And he says, see, I'd like to talk about what we think happens after kind of the credits of this movie roll. Because Griffith says to Hugh, if I see Angard again, I won't be able to leave.
Right.
And then the following scene is the horn blows, like when there's like a cave-in or an explosion in the mines. So
the entire town rushes to this mine.
Yeah. And
The small congregation goes to try and save whoever's in there. They do find Griffith. But he's like pinned under these rocks and he just says his goodbyes and he passes.
yeah, as soon as he sees Hugh, he's like, oh, my boy. And then he dies.
Yeah.
And they bring him up.
They're both there. The Griffith and Angard
See each other.
see each other. Yeah.
And to me, we don't find out what happens between them. But
No.
to me, I was like, he said he wasn't leaving if he sees her again.
I'm inclined to believe that.
I feel like the movie is suggesting that they like maybe got together despite the scandal, or like,
yeah.
yeah.
I think it does a good job of laying out those pieces, even though it doesn't say anything concrete, which usually irks me. I do think it's all there for us to come to the conclusion that they end up together.
Yeah.
The last shot is they're in heaven.
Last shot's beautiful. So then the last shot is Hugh narrating, being like, my father may have been dead, but like my memories of him live on, and he will always
Yeah.
live in my memory. And then it's like the last shot is like all the brothers who have now gone to America, and I guess the one who died, they're walking towards Hugh and his father, like just like walking towards them. It rules. It's so
Yeah, it rules.
It's very moving. And this movie is great.
Yeah. Damn, we covered the shit out of that movie. Still go watch it. Don't listen to us fucking talk
Summarize
about it. Yeah. But those are all the beats. If any of that interests you, I highly recommend going to check it out. It's a really great classic film.
Would you like to hear the other nominees for 1942?
I sure as hell would.
So obviously, How Green Was My Valley wins Best Picture.
Champ. Undefeated.
Quite a few nominees this year, so let's get into it. Next up we have
Let's before you get into the next nominees. Let's I say list them off and then let's get to the matter at hand.
Okay. So list them off in the order that they appear on the Oscars page, or leave the matter of hand to the
Let's
last
leave
one?
the matter of hand to the last one and then we
Okay.
can get into it.
Okay. So first up we have Mervyn LeRoy's, who he's come up before, Blossoms in the Dust.
Sounds cool.
Edna marries Texan Sam Gladney, operator of a wheat mill. They have a son who was killed when very young. Edna discovers by chance how the law treats children who are without parents. and decides to do something about it. She opens a home for foundlings and orphans and begins to place children in good homes despite the opposition of conservative citizens who would condemn illegitimate children for being born out of wedlock. Go off, Edna.
Okay, Oliver
Edna,
Twist.
yeah, eventually Edna leads a fight in the Texas legislature to remove the stigma of illegitimacy from birth records in that state while continuing to be an advocate for homeless children.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, that sounds kind of interesting. It's only 99 minutes. You would think with everything that happens in that movie, it must be 3 hours long, but it is.
Yeah. You'd think at least make it 100 minutes for even.
Yeah, 99. You were almost there.
You're right there.
Next up we have Here Comes Mr. Jordan.
All right, I take back what I said earlier. We gotta get to Here Comes Mr. Jordan. I'm sorry.
Directed by Alexander Hall.
Okay.
Boxer Joe Pendleton, flying to his next fight, crashes because a heavenly messenger, new on the job, snatched Joe's spirit prematurely from his body.
Huh?
Not expecting this. An angel takes his spirit, I guess. Before the matter could be rectified, Joe's body is cremated. So the celestial Mr. Jordan grants him the use of the body of wealthy Bruce Farnsworth, who's just been murdered by his wife. Joe tries to remake Farnsworth Joe tries to remake Farnsworth's unworthy life in his own clean-cut image, but then falls in love. And what about that murderous wife?
That sounds insane. But wait, but who's the angel?
I don't know. Maybe
so
is it
someone.
I think it's Mr. Jordan,
Wait, yeah, who's Mr. Jordan?
played by Claude Rains, I want to say.
So a spirit from heaven comes down to earth and possesses a guy's body, but before they can.
Why are you saying it like it doesn't make any sense?
Well, what doesn't make sense is that like before they could, I guess he could switch out of his body, they cremate the body, so he has to go into a new host. I already don't like it.
Joe Pendleton out of his body. It's like, oh shit, sorry, made a mistake. Let me put you back in the body. Oops, the body's all burned. I'm gonna put you in Bruce Farnsworth, a rich guy who was just murdered.
Okay, so this guy's spirit was taken by mistake.
Yeah.
It's almost like, oh, what was that fucking movie? Seventh Heaven or whatever? Yes, Heaven Can Wait is what it reminds me of.
You've seen that?
No, but I know the premise where like he gets put in a football player's body.
Yeah. Warren Beatty.
Yeah, exactly right.
Next up we have Mitchell Leisen's Hold Back the Dawn.
Okay.
Romanian French gigolo.
Great.
Georges. How do you say Georges? We've come up against this problem before. Like
George
with an S at the end. Is it like
say Georges?
Georges?
Yeah, sure.
Iscovescu.
But that part didn't trip you up at all.
No, okay. That's like I could just phonetically figure that out. Wishes to enter the USA, the USA. Stopped in Mexico by the quota system, he decides to marry an American, then desert her and join his old partner Anita, who's done likewise. But after sweeping teacher Emmy Brown off her feet, he finds her so sweet that love and jealousy endanger his plans.
Okay. Fine.
Next up, we have The Little Foxes.
Oh.
Directed by William Wyler.
Wow, our friend.
This is probably the best movie ever made. The Little Foxes is set in 1900 and is about a clan who attempts to strike a deal with Chicago industrialists to get him to build cotton mills in their deep south town.
Okay.
And next up we have The Maltese Falcon. You've probably heard
of
this,
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, this is an iconic film.
Yeah, with Humphrey Bogart as Sam Spade, based on the novel by Dashiell Hammett. Directed by John Huston, another famous director. It's about private detective Sam Spade who takes on a case that involves him with 3 eccentric criminals, a beautiful liar, and their quest for a priceless statuette. A movie I have been meaning to see for years.
Yeah. I wish we could have spoken a bit about this, but
this was another one I wanted to try and fit in, but I just couldn't.
It is supposedly like one of the most renowned films, right? It's probably like in the AFI top 100.
Yeah. I think that's right.
Wow, what a year this is.
Yeah, pretty stacked.
Yeah.
Next up we have One Foot in Heaven. This one's directed by Irving Rapper.
Nice.
Kind of cool. And it's an episodic look at the life of a minister and his family as they move from one parish to another. No thanks.
Yeah, I'll pass. Not enough.
Boring.
Not enough meat on that bone.
Next up, we have Sergeant York, directed by Howard Hawks,
Cool name.
about Alvin York, a hillbilly sharpshooter who transformed himself from ruffian to religious pacifist. He is then called to serve his country, and despite
Oh.
deep religious and moral objections to fighting, becomes one of the most celebrated American heroes of World War One.
You had me at hillbilly sharpshooter.
It's so funny, actually, to like, okay, so, I mean, Pearl Harbor just happened by the time they're having this awards. Like, it
Yeah.
happened like probably 2 or 3 months previously, but it's funny to be like, let's nominate a movie about a guy who doesn't want to be in the war.
I would love to see Larry the Cable Guy take this on.
And second to last is Alfred Hitchcock. He's back.
Damn.
A lot of heavy hitters this year. It is the Cary Grant starring Suspicion, about
Sounds
a
suspicious.
sheltered heiress who falls for a charming playboy and elopes with him, but soon discovers his gambling vice and mounting debts. As his lies deepen and those around them meet mysterious ends, she begins to suspect that her husband's affection may conceal a deadly motive, and that she could be his next victim.
God, filmmakers of this era love an heiress, huh?
They're obsessed.
They love an heiress plotline.
And finally, the movie we held off on talking about. The first film by a 25-year-old little runt
25. It's crazy.
who RKO Pictures gave him essentially a blank check. And we're like,
Why?
make Citizen Kane. And he was like,
And he fucking
okay.
did.
And he did. He made Citizen Kane.
Wow. Good for him. That's awesome.
It is Orson Welles' Herman Mankiewicz co-written
Mank.
Citizen Kane. Did you
Did you
watch
do
this?
this? I actually did. I know I told you I wasn't gonna get to.
so glad
I
you stuck it in.
squeezed it in, and yes, I did. I did watch Citizen Kane.
What did you think of Citizen Kane?
Truly the Citizen Kane of movies. It's great. It's awesome. I don't think I'm really treading much new ground here, but
I
yeah,
just thought you
Citizen
would-
Kane is good.
I just thought you wouldn't like it.
No, it's clearly a masterpiece. It's awesome. It's
Hell yeah.
really well made. The performances are great. Orson Welles is really, really
It's
good.
amazing.
It's just such a sharp one, character study, and two, mystery that kind of keeps you wrapped up in that those two elements collide, and they exist in conjunction with each other. And I think that's really cool, where it's like the mystery is this character.
Right.
And I love getting to unwrap that as the story goes on. It's great. It's brilliant. It's well made. It looks beautiful. The performances are all really good. It's an incredibly adept movie. But is it anyone's favorite movie? Not to
I will
Yeah.
say. So rewatching it. I saw
you'd
it
seen this
once.
prior.
I saw it when I was like 14 or 15, and I was knocking movies off like the AFI list that I printed out or wrote down or whatever. And I remember liking it then. And I put on my Criterion Blu-ray this past week.
Nice.
And I was just like, this is the best shit on planet Earth. This movie is so perfect. I didn't expect to have this reaction necessarily. I was hoping that I would love it, but I was like, this is a perfect object that like I don't even know what to say about it.
I think that's where I won't meet you.
Okay.
I don't really know what would make this the best movie ever made. I think actually, that's not true. I think I know on paper what makes this the best movie ever made, because here's my problem with criticism in general, is that you try to maintain a level of objectivity, but it really just completely defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
Because you can look at all the elements of this film and say, yes, it looks great. Everybody's knocking it out of the park acting wise. The writing is really sharp. the message is really sharp. It has a lasting impact. It probably has a lasting cultural impact. But I don't love it. Like, it's not my favorite movie ever. It's not even
Yeah.
close. It never, it never excelled to the point of me thinking of it. I was always thinking of it in a critical sense, and I think the movies that really go above and beyond, I just completely lose myself in them. I don't think it had that characteristic. Like, I don't think this is better than Moonstruck, oddly enough, because I just loved it. I was just so entranced by it upon putting it on. Um, but I think it's great. It's obviously incredibly well made. I just struggle with saying this is the best movie ever made. I think I struggle with other people even saying that because I think it's just an unreasonable it's an unreasonable thing to tag another movie with. It just doesn't seem like it should exist as a label.
Me saying it's like the best movie ever made has to be taken with a grain of salt because I've said that probably about like 50 other movies on this show.
Yeah.
I say that all the time. I think the reasons I connected with this movie so much, and like after it was over, I was like, I should watch this like once a year. And it just kind of happens to so some things that I'm obsessed with that stories do. When it's about a character over a long period of time,
Yeah. That's your shit.
that's my shit. I love watching characters like grow up and but also I love watching characters grow up and then like I love when Charles Foster Kane he is the center of the movie, but we never get his perspective, right? It's always about people in relationship to him and like what they remember about him and what they're saying he was like, and the whole movie is unreliable because it's like the movie ultimately is about like how this man can't really be known. And then it sort of is like, can anybody be known? Are we all just mysteries like Charles Foster Kane? Um,
I do think that's
I
a fascinating aspect of the movie.
Yeah, and I love a movie where it's like everybody's like, let's talk about this one person. Like, can we figure this person out? And it's like, no, we can't.
It does a great job of making you think, and it has a lasting effect on you, once the credits have already rolled.
And like it's well said. We don't like rich people on this show. We don't like guys who have giraffes on their property.
No, this is not a good guy.
No, but I think what's interesting about Kane is like the movie is about him trying to be good, but he keeps doing it the wrong way, or like his wealth prohibits him from doing it
Yeah.
the right way. Like it's very interesting. Like this is a very I think this movie you can like think about for a long time, and just like the motivations of him and
Yeah.
what his life adds up to or means.
There's a lot you could untangle because he is himself a walking hypocrisy. You're right. That's a great addition. He tried to do the right thing at every stage in his life, and more often than not, it failed him, or even his wealth failed him when he tried to do the right thing.
Yeah,
Buy out a local paper, like, was mostly it claimed to be for the people, and then I think the people close to him in his life called him out on his hypocrisy and said, like, you're not for the people. Like, look how much you own and all the effect that you have.
you shook hands with Hitler.
Right. Like, how good of a guy can you be?
Yeah.
And yeah, his is a character study that can be analyzed in perpetuity.
Yeah, and even like the ending of this movie, like I won't spoil it, I guess, but it's like the first line of the movie, and that's sort of like the ultimate mystery. To me, what I love about the sort of the way the mystery of this movie is kind of answered, of like what does his final word mean, is it only opens up more questions. You're like, oh well, why was he so connected to this thing? Like, was he always trying to get back to there?
I think so, yeah.
Right? And it's like, but maybe that's part of it, but it to me, like, maybe it could be more complex. Like, is his
Right.
whole life just, I don't know.
It's
But
great.
Citizen Kane rules.
Yeah, it rules.
No, it's not original to say, but it absolutely fucks, slaps, and owns.
I don't know if it has much I think so. In finding reviews, which we'll get to in a moment, I found a lot of people lamenting the indoctrination of How Green Was My Valley into Oscar's fame because it beat out Citizen Kane. And I think these movies are on par with each other. I would maybe even give an edge to How Green Was My Valley, just because of the heart that was in it. Like, it felt a little bit more emotive. And I think Citizen Kane is a little bit more contemplative. And it's like, how do you, if you put those things on a scale, you know, like, what is better than what? You can't say. It's just what your own personal sentiments are.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer Citizen Kane, but like, I love How Green Was My Valley. I'm not upset that it doesn't matter. Like, getting upset over
None of this
wins,
matters,
it
by
doesn't
the way.
matter.
Doesn't matter
Everybody-
what a cabal of old fuckers has to say.
You know
And
what's-
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, Taylor, of course. You know what's funny? Citizen Kane lost, and we're still talking about it. So who fucking cares if it won or not?
But it doesn't matter, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't mean shit. None of this makes a difference. We're all gonna die one day. We're just specks of dust floating around on Earth in space. A lot of folks had some shit to say about How Green Was My Valley.
I can imagine.
People are enraged by this film
That's crazy.
for one reason or another.
A delightful, lovely movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of unreasonable rage that I can't wait to get to. Can you give me the name for this reviewer? We're gonna give them a fake name. This is a bit of a long one, so bear with me. I also didn't finish this review. I wanted to just go in half cold
Okay.
because it was just making me chuckle. But give me the name of somebody who is irked beyond belief.
It's got to be Steve Urkel.
Steve, nice. Steve Urkel gives this 1.5 stars, which honestly I'm baffled at given how poor of a review this is. But Steve Urkel does say, How Green Was My Valley is a fucking boring piece of shit. I thought I understood the nature of boredom when I watched Citizen Kane, but it turns out I was just seeing a novice. Every single character, bar 3, in this personal attack on me is a melt, wet wipe, or drip. I should not be cheering when I see a child get beaten, but I am. He's a pathetic creature who needed that. His family either have no personality or could be replaced with sticks that have various faces drawn on them. The plot appears to vary wildly between the olden mining days were great and everyone knew we all got black lung in a good way to the olden mining days sucked and they fired everyone to get cheap labor and also we could die at any moment. I hate 1941 so fucking bad. This might actually be my angriest review. And I watched Lord of the Racism as part of this bit. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
I hope that child's lungs are ruined. Things I did while watching How Green Was My Valley that were more fun than watching How Green Was My Valley. Rolling around on my bed, actively watching my phone charge, eating a pizza, scratching paint off my wall with my fingernails, playing with the hood of my hoodie, bending my fingers and holding my arm above my head, letting it go limp so I hit myself in the face. I nearly paid money for this, but fortunately, YouTube came in clutch. Where were you? Where were you to tell me that YouTube was fucking free?
You should have finished the review. Well, I guess you already would have watched it.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
That's
People
the
are mad. That's
the
the end. Yeah, people are pissed.
I'm perplexed by that review. I'm perplexed by anybody I
Really?
think who would hate this movie.
I believe it or not, as long as it was, I cut some aspects of the review, but they do mention that Die Bando and his hype man were part of the scene that reminded me that I was actually alive.
Okay. I mean, yeah,
So
Bando rules.
give me the name of somebody who's just flat out wrong. And I would love to have a conversation with
I think it's gotta be JD Vance.
JD Vance, frequent watcher of the show, apparently. Says
He
2
loves
stars.
it.
He loves it. I wouldn't rate this, but the fact that this is a higher score than Chicago is ridiculous, and I have to do my part to fix that. Boo, I guess.
Chicago sucks ass.
Yeah, sorry. Do we want to read this last long review? I think I do. I'm sorry.
This is gonna be a long episode.
This is gonna be a long ass episode, but I gotta tell you what this is about. Yeah, but give me the name of somebody who's a real Lana Del Rey stan.
Donna Lele.
Donna L.A. says, not gonna lie, I only watched this because Lana Del Rey referenced it in Yosemite, so I had to watch it in order to grasp the message of her song. Also, why the fuck would he ask how green was my valley just to make the film black and white? How the fuck are we supposed to know? There's dead ass no correlation. Lana is sick in the head, and this hoe Angrid is sick and twisted too for hiding in the pastor's house and then kissing him when he came home. When she was about to get married, too, mind you. Like, what was going on with the writers in 1940s Hollywood? Low key, everyone was doing drugs, yo. Actually, it makes perfect sense. Lana would love this. It's literally black and white depression with a Welsh choir. And y'all, this little boy Hugh was crying throughout the whole movie, and life kept beating his ass. Like, what the fuck, pathetic ass? Get up. Everything pissed me off. I'm low-key glad some of them died in coal mines so they could escape that demonic town.
That's a great review.
Yeah, 5 stars for that review. Excellent.
It's incredible.
That's all I have the energy to deliver to you upon this fine afternoon.
Thank you for those.
Yeah,
Do you think How Green Was My Valley is Best Picture worthy?
I do. Come find me.
I agree. I think it's a great movie. Next week's big because for the 2 dedicated viewers of this show,
Let's go.
we have entered the final 10
Wow.
of this program. And we are kicking off our final 10. Like, maybe if nobody's paying close attention, but let's just act like they are. You're like, wow, you haven't talked about this, and this? Well, yeah, we're fucking getting to it actually soon.
Maybe even now.
Maybe even now. Because next week, we're kicking this shit off. It is John G. Avildsen's, I think that's how you say his name. His 1977 Best Picture winner. The Sly Stone written
Oh.
Rocky.
Oh.
Maybe like one of those iconic movies ever made, right?
I'm excited. I'm nervous, actually.
Also a little nervous. I mean, the next 10, there's like, whatever. There's a lot of movies in here where you're like, how the fuck do we talk about that?
We'll find out.
We'll do our best. But until next time, if you ever find yourself a preacher in a small Welsh mining town,
Yeah.
and you're in love with the daughter of one of the families there, but you're like, I'm poor, I'm a preacher, I can't give her this life.
Relatable. Yeah.
But then some fucking rich son comes and is like, can I marry her? I want you to say, actually, no, I'm going to go to his house. I'm going to break in.
Oh.
I'm going to find the biggest fucking hot dog I can, and I'm going to smack the shit out of him with it and be like, you're not marrying her, I am. She's mine to kiss, not you. And then you will. And he'll be
Wow.
embarrassed.
Really?
And he'll go marry an heiress.
As you should.
And everything will be peachy and coal covered.
Nice. Marry a fucking heiress, why don't you? Grow up.
Yeah. Get serious. See you next week, Wieners.
Adios.
1, 2, 3, 4. These boys only want the best stuff. They want the cream of the crop. They don't want none of that Michael Bay shit. They want the shit that bops. Oscar bait, black and white. Maybe something French. If it's got more than one explosion, honey, put that shit on the bench. Oscar Wieners. Oscar Wieners. Oscar Wieners. These boys are the Oscar Wieners. Oscar Wieners.
What happened to the director for the because when you mentioned that person's name, I had truly no idea who that was.
I think he directed the first Karate Kid.
Oh,
He directed actually Karate Kids 1, 2, and 3.
oh, he's got a pedigree. Okay.
Obviously, he directed Rocky. He also directed Rocky 5, the worst one, which is tough.
So they brought him back for Rocky 5.
Imagine directing like a perfect masterpiece in a series and then being like, how about I come back for the shitty one? It's like, okay,
Kind of a
Yeah.
flex, actually. No, it's a
gotta
good
be
bet.
cool. Get a guy who could do both.